We now cross live to our SABC correspondent, Albina Koleova in Moscow in Russia. A very good evening to you and thank you for joining us. What has been Vladimir Putin, the Russian president's response to now conclusions that that plane was in fact downed by a bomb?
Well, Vladimir Putin's response was very much upping the aggression against IS targets in Syria. There was a big meeting that he chaired with his chief of military staff, where they showed how they are using modern weapons to further target IS targets today in Syria.
Talk to us about the coordinated attempts that are going to take place, or attacks rather, between the French President François Hollande and President Vladimir Putin. They apparently had a telephonic conversation where they agreed to come together to fight Islamic State.
That's right. Well, Vladimir Putin asked his military to coordinate actions with the French Navy in Syria. Both the French and the Russian military have hit targets in Syria today, including Raqqa. So the French President Hollande is also due to come to Moscow next week. That will be on the 26th, to meet with Putin personally. So this looks like more of an alliance between France and Russia. Certainly, this is the angle that Russia is presenting to the world at the moment.
Albina, what's the end game here? How long are these coordinated strikes likely to last, and how brutal are they going to be? Do we know the force that's going to be that France and Russia are going to carry out?
Well, in terms of the brutality, they are pretty brutal at the moment. We are seeing some pictures from within Syria of the aftermath of some of those strikes. In terms of your question, how long will this go on for? Well, it's not clear, although the US and Russia have come together to form a sort of proposal for reform in Syria that will take place over the next 18 months and have early presidential elections. Perhaps over these 18 months, that's when that will be the end of airstrikes by Russia and other allies.
Albina, I'm wondering about the sentiment there in Russia. What are ordinary people saying?
Well, I think a lot of Russians are really saying that, airstrikes in Syria should continue, that now the IS have targeted Russia and France. Russia should do everything it can to defend its citizens, and many Russians are seeing this as basically defense of its interests and its safety. Back to you.
That was our correspondent Albina Koleova coming to us live from Moscow in Russia.